We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction.
The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave.
There are no great limits to growth because there are no limits of human intelligence, imagination, and wonder. Trust, but verify.
It's true. Hard work never killed anybody. But I figure, why take the chance?
Surround yourself with the best people you can find, delegate authority, and don't interfere. We don't believe in coincidence. We believe in providence.
If we ever forget that we are one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
There's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. Peace is not absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. We have always recognized that we cannot escape responsibility by pleading that we have no power. There is no substitute for victory.
A people free to choose will always choose peace.
Life is one grand, sweet song, so start the music. Welfare's purpose should be to eliminate, as far as possible, the need for its own existence. We aren't the sum of our circumstances. We are the sum of our decisions. I know, in my heart, that man is good. Don't be afraid to see what you see.
The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." My attitude is that if you push me towards something that you think is a weakness, then I will turn that perceived weakness into a strength.
We must always attempt to bring individuals back into the mainstream of society.
I've always believed that this was a movement of the people.
Within the covers of the Bible are the answers for all the problems men face. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace.
Freedom prospers when religion is vibrant and the rule of law under God is acknowledged.
All great change in America begins at the dinner table. We can tell our children to reach for the stars and dream big. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. Government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. People wait all week for Friday, all year for summer, all life for happiness. We must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. The best minds are not in government. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. If not us, who? If not now, when?
Great leaders are almost always great simplifiers.
Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases. If it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it.
It is wonderful what great strides can be made when there is a resolute purpose behind them.
Heroes may not be braver than anyone else. They're just braver 5 minutes longer. Peace is a journey of 1,000 miles, and it must be taken one step at a time. There are no constraints on the human mind, no walls around the human spirit, no barriers to our progress except those we ourselves erect. We simply must stop exchanging votes for legalized plunder. Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
The greatest freedom is the freedom to make mistakes.
Government does not solve problems, it subsidizes them. Animals are reliable, many full of love, true in their affections, predictable in their actions, grateful and loyal. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing.
The best measure of a man is what he does with power.
We have a rendezvous with destiny.
Plans are worthless, but planning is everything.
When you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat.
I am not worried about the deficit. It is big enough to take care of itself. Man is not free unless government is limited. What's worth doing is worth doing well.
Trusting government means trusting people of questionable wisdom and motive.
If we ever slip into socialism, it will not be because the people have embraced it, but because government has taken it upon itself to force it. The very heart and core of conservatism is libertarianism. I have wondered at times what the 10 Commandments would have looked like if Moses had run them through the US Congress.
There are no easy answers, but there are simple answers.
Our freedom is not a gift from the government. It's a gift from God and history.
History is writ by the victors. We should measure welfare's success by how many people leave welfare, not by how many are added.
The problem is not that people are taxed too little. The problem is that government spends too much.
Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. Mankind must put an end to war before war puts an end to mankind. The greatest leader is not the one who does the greatest things. It's the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.
The best years of our life are not behind us, but ahead.
Government exists to protect us from each other. Where government has gone beyond its limits is in deciding to protect us from ourselves. We must act tomorrow, come what may.
Our business in life is not to get ahead of others, but to get ahead of ourselves. There can be no security where rights are being infringed. The shining city on a hill was an image he gave to us of a reborn America. America is too great for small dreams.
We're never defeated unless we give up on God. We shouldn't be afraid to put our differences aside.
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter.
The welfare state is government's excuse for failing to match morality to money. We must never negotiate out of fear, but we must never fear to negotiate. Let us never forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. When freedom prevails, the world becomes more peaceful. The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. You'll find that life isn't fair when you look at the income tax form. Policies are supposed to work in the long run. The long run is supposed to start today.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy.
The status quo is Latin for the mess we're in. Words are like leaves, and where they most abound, much fruit of sense beneath is rarely found. It pays to be obvious, especially if you have a reputation for subtlety.
Freedom is the right to question and change the established way of doing things.
I welcome a national debate on the moral basis for our government and our society.
My principles are simple. What's good for the country is right, and what's bad for the country is wrong.
Everyday Americans must be able to rely on their government to be there when they need it, but not to control their lives.
Anyone can steer the ship when the sea is calm. Politicians are people who, when they see light at the end of the tunnel, go out and buy some more tunnel.
I believe that we cannot be strong abroad until we are strong at home. I have never been an isolationist. It's just that I want America to choose her enemies carefully.
Taking power is not a graduation into leadership. We have an obligation as Americans to stand up and be counted. The best way to judge the future is to create it. America's courage calls to the brave.